And welcome back to another Revit tutorial. In our previous video, we did the water reticulation, as you can see with our ISO view that we have created. So today we will be doing the drainage for our little dwelling. Like that. So I've gone and I've duplicated the water reticulation plan. So now once I've duplicated it, I'm going to rename it to 0 drainage so that I know which one I'm working on, and I'm just going to rename the other one to 0 water reticulation so that I know that's my drainage plan and that's my water reticulation plan. Let's do the same for our 3D views. Let me just rename this one ISO water reticulation, and this one will be ISO drainage. So now that we have that, now we know what we are working with. So I'm going to go to drainage, and I have just hidden this file. Let me unhide it. So I know there's a sink here, there's a dishwasher here, and then there is our plumbing fixtures. So I know, due to this being my house, I know that there is a 108mm pipe going from roughly here all the way down to here. So if we can go to systems, we can select our pipe, we could change our diameter. Just ensure that you go to system type and select soil and waste, because that is what this is for. And now we're going to go slope down. I have selected 1 to 60. Our country's my country's regulations is between 1 to 60 and 1 to 80. I like working with 1 to 60. So now I'm just going to take it from here and draw it in right about there. And if we go to our 3D view, you'll see there is our pipe. So let's go to our ISO drainage. Now I'm going to select everything, unselect that, and I'm going to hide those elements. So now we can go to annotate, slope, and we do not want this slope showing. I'm going to go edit type. I'm going to go units format, and I'm going to change this to 1:1 ratio. Apply and OK. And there we can see our slope for this section of piping. So now that we have our main connection line running over there, I now know there is a 40mm waste pipe in this section over here. And that runs all along the wall at roughly about 400mm, and it goes out here and it connects to a gully over here. So I am going to load in my gully. Let me just have it open. I do not have it open anymore. Let's go to floor plan, insert, load family, and I am plumbing fixtures. Let's see what's here that we can use. We do want a floor drain as well, but we're not going to dive that deep into everything in this video. It's just a basic illustration of how to do your drainage. I'm going to go to my plumbing connectors, load in my gully, go to systems, plumbing fixture. My gully has been selected, so I know it is sitting roughly there, but we can move it up and down to see what is going on. So now an important part would be to get our pipes to not clash with this tap over here. we can actually move this up. Let's just do it for this video. Move it up under the tap. Okay, so now if that tap opens, I'm just gonna extend this as well to the outside in case we want to add a tap later on by being fancy. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to drainage, and now I'm going to go pipe. I know I want a 40 mil pipe, and our elevation is going to be, let's use roughly about 400. So I'm going to start this over here, and I'm going to run it all along this wall, and it's going to go out over here, and I'm just going to make my middle elevation minus 600 over there, and go apply. So what we have now is this kitchen section. So this, I'm just going to delete that sink because it's kind of irritating me. So my error here was that our middle elevation was not correct on that height. So I'm just going to delete it and redraw it quickly. So pipe, I'm going to use 108 mils. We're going to slope down 1:60, and we're going to make sure our middle elevation is minus 600. So as you can see, I put in a reference plane just to mark out where my foundation is, because a drain cannot sit that close. It needs to sit away from the foundation. So I'm just going to draw this in here. Okay, we still have the correct measurements there. Let's go back to 3D. Okay, there we go. That sits a lot better on minus 600. And now this needs to connect to that. But let's first just connect our gully to our main sewer line. So I'm going to go into 3D view, select my gully, and you'll see I have a connector on the gully, which allows me to do this. So I can now just go minus 600, hit apply, just to take it down. As you can see, now we want this to connect to that, but we can't take it from here because we don't know that connecting height on this pipe. So what we are going to do, we are going to go to drainage. I'm just going to unhide these things, and now we are going to go DL for detail line, and I'm going to select the center of my gully and go on a 45° until I see my nearest pipe center line, that is over there. So now I'm going to select this, create similar, and we're going to use inherit elevation. And now we are working towards our gully, so we need to set this to slope up. So just hover there, and you'll see on the bottom left it says endpoint of lines detail line. So what we want to do is press tab until the intersection of pipes has been selected, and from there we click and we bring it back in to our gully line. So now you'll see that that is now a perfect connection, and we now want this to connect with that. So we can bring this down, and there it connects. And that looks a lot cleaner. So now we need to do that exact same method to connect to here, but we know this is on 400 sloping down. Let's see, okay, 400 sloping down, so we can use, let's use minus 200 because this pipe is under the ground heading into our gully. So I'm going to select pipe again, change my diameter to 42, middle elevation. Let's just to be safe go with minus 300 so we can get a nice little reading. So slope up because we are working back towards this point. So click on that, sloping up, and I'm going to select the center of that pipe. And if we go into 3D view again, this is a lot cleaner. So I'm just going to change this connection so that it's like this. Okay, come now. There we go. That looks a lot better. So let's see how this is going to sit. It's below my door line and it is in the ground going towards our gully. So now we want to take this. I'm going to make it smaller. We're going to take it to about there. Oh, we can actually delete this because there is a manhole over here. But for this case, we'll tell there's no manhole there, and we want to do a rotting eye over here. So I'm going to go to my west elevation, as you can see here, change it to fine. And I know that is my ground floor level. So now I'm just going to go, let's see, shaded. Okay, it's only highlighting that. So now I'm going to go pipe, standard pipe, change it to 108 millimeters. And I'm going to select this pipe and I'm just going to drag it on 45 meters, 45 degrees up to there. So that if we go to 3D view, we have a rotting eye area. Just ensure your levels and everything is correct so that you know where your ground level is sitting at. So I'm just going to pull this a bit back. And now I'm going to go to pipe fitting. And I am just going to check where's my cap at. Let's just use a cap. And I'm going to add a cap on that fitting. So now this pipe can be cleaned from this rotting eye. Let's go back to drainage. Okay, so now we have this, but now we need to create one for our sink over here, and we know that is this piping will work the exact same way like we did that. So I'm gonna go and go drainage, wrong one. So I know my sink is over here. Gonna go pipe, change it back to a 42. Inherit location, we want it to slope up. So I'm just going to select it over here, take it like that, and then change the middle elevation to 700 and go apply. I think it was 700. What's the side? 500. So this one needs to be 500 just to get the idea of where my fixture is. It will be a lot easier if you load in your fixtures to work on it. I prefer just for this case, for this video to work like this to showcase how the systems will work with one another. So now we are going to do the same here. I'm going to go create similar, inherit elevation, and I'm just going to click over here and go, let's go with 700 and apply. So there we have our dishwasher point or your laundry connection point. And now we also know if we go to our ISO drawing, we can go annotate, spot slope, and everything. Just drag this out the way, move that. Let's just put it down here, or no, up there is fine. Like so, and do another one over here. Okay, it seems that let's just change that 1 to 60, just so that everything complies. spot slope on this one. There we go. And now we can add some text here. Go gully. Rotting eye. So now we know what we are looking at on this. And let's just don't forget about this. Sink, dishwasher. So this is now also coming together. I have already created another sheet. So I'm just going to put this on here so that we know it is on the drawing and it's starting to get compiled. Let's go back to drainage. Now that we have our kitchen sorted, we need to do our bath and our zinc. So I'm going to go select my 40mm pipe, create similar, and I'm just going to firstly check this height. That's our VC. Let's check this one, 700. I'm going to make this right about 500. Let's go systems, pipe, 42. We want this on 500. And I am going to draw it right here in the middle. And I'm going to go 500. Then we want to go minus 50. And I'm going to pull this all the way to here, because that must likely look like that, but I'm just going to pull it this way, and then I'm going to, oh, let's leave it like that for now. So now we know that that connection will not work, so we need to move it down a lot more. I'm just going to delete it and we're going to redo it. Sometimes this does start to get a lot tedious. Let's go 500, click there, minus 50. No, minus 50 did not work. Let's go minus 150 and apply. So there we are with our basins drainage. Like this. Let's go pipe again. Automatically connect. We know it's already on minus 50. Slope down. And now I'm just gonna draw it to here. Okay, something is not in the right place. Let's see if we connect over there. Okay, so those two pipes are fighting one another. This one is fighting this one coming down. I'm just going to move it out the way to there. I'm going to pipe again, minus 150 to there and to there. And there we have our little pipes. Now we're going to go back to my ISO drawing just to ensure that we clean it up a bit. So I'm moving that in, and I'm going to go and annotate this as well. So ensure that it's sitting neatly. There we go. And I'm going to add my text for wash and basin so the plumber knows where it is sitting. So let's go back to drainage. Now we need to connect the bathtub to this. So I'm going to select this line, go create similar, inherit, elevation, because we want this line over here. So firstly, I'm going to go detail line, and I'm just going to draw in my center line, select our pipe, create similar, inherit elevation, and I'm gonna go over here, see inspection of pipes, intersection of pipes, and we want slope up, and I'm going to draw it right to there, and our, clicked the wrong thing, and now we can just go see what's happening, and there we have this one. Just gonna delete this line. I want another connection over here. Let's see if we can change this connection. Going to. So I don't think this connection will work because if the water flows down, it's going to smash there, and it leaves the possibility for the water to push back up to your sink. So I'm just going to go and delete this. I'll just undo. There we go. Drainage. So I'm going to make this on a 45-degree intersection. And I'm going to go create similar, inherit, slope up, 1:60, intersection of pipe. I'm going to take it to there, and I'm going to make it 0 and apply. Let's see. Okay, so this took the top of that line, so we can just delete this. So now we know where our bathtub would be, and I'm going to go once again, select my pipe, create similar, inherit elevation. Let's see what we get in the 5 line. There we go. There we have our bath connection. So I'm just going to take that down. Go to my ISO view. We see there it is. So I'm just going to move this, delete that, retag it over here, and just write down bath for this one. It's going to change. Okay, so the text is correct still. There we go. And now this is coming along quite nicely. I'm going to go back to drainage. So this will be going, I'm going to take it from there, depending on the specific toilet that you are using. So let's go into our, so this, though your toilet line will connect straight to this. This cannot connect to your gully because if there's a blockage or anything, the foul stench will come out of your bath and your basin, and that stench will basically infect this entire bathroom's drainage lines. So we'll need to connect this to our main sewer line. So I am going to go and select my sewer line, or let's first draw in a detail line. I'm going to take it from roughly here, and I'm going to draw in a 45-degree line. Yeah, that's rough. This is a quite hectic drainage line over here, but it is what it is. We work on 45-degree angles, so that is how this one will look. So once again, the same as we did here, and there we're going to select our pipe, create similar, inherit elevation, slope up because we are working back. Selected there, and I'm going to press tab to ensure that I have the intersection of pipes and endpoint of line, and I'm bring it over here. Let's see. Okay, it made the connection, And now we want this on 0. Apply. And here we have our VC. So I'm going to go to my systems, fittings, and I am going to go with a P-trap. Okay, that's not how it really looks. Just flip, flip. You're supposed to connect to the other side, my son. Okay, but I'm going to leave that like that for now. I'm just going to go to drainage. I'm just going to put that up there so it's still neat. Annotate. Going to pull this down as well so it's nice and neat. Let's see if we can fit it in there. Oh, we can. So I'm going to go text and I'm going to add VC over here, and this I'm going to just draw a little smaller so we can annotate it there. We have that line, we have that line, we have that line. Okay, so let's see if we can maybe put this another one over here and just bring that back in. Okay, there we have this one is a bit bothersome for me. I'm going to move this up and bring it in, move it up here, and then just extend over there. So now we have our kitchen, our first bathroom, and now we need to do our second bathroom. So I'm just going to extend this. So this one is going to go out and out. So I'm going to do this one first because that seems like the more difficult option at the moment. So create similar, inherit, height, and I'm going to just do a small 45-degree bend like so, and then like so. Then I'm gonna go to mine. Let's leave that as is for now. If we go here, we'll see our start over there. Okay, so now I'm gonna do this one because this also goes out here. This 3D view. So this is our VC, so we need to put this on like -200. We do. And there's no gully on this side of my house, but we will need to add one. I am going to just move that up a bit and move this up. Okay, I remember I have a photo that I just found on how this looks. I'm going to bring this back. I'm going to draw a detail line on this, and I'm just going to take it out like that. Okay, so now I'm going to go systems, pipe. So let's go inherit elevation. We want that point, and I'm going to take this up to 400. Apply, apply. If we have a look here, that is what we currently have, because there is a mini stub stack behind my house. So now I'm going to go with fitting and cap and place the cap on there. And now I'm going to go with this again, create similar, and I'm going to put this on 0 and slope down. I'm going to take it from here again, and I'm going to go, why aren't you connecting to that line? Create similar, 0, slope down. Let's go from there to there. No auto red solution. Okay, you don't need to auto red. I will route you myself. Put it there, check in this, and I'm gonna, let's take this down. There we go. Move this up to our cap. Delete that. We know that you can route. Come now, Revit. We want to create a. Okay, so I'm gonna go fitting. See if we can do this the long way. Use this one. Okay, so now that pull this down. So reconnect it. Okay, I'm gonna do this on create similar. I'm gonna put that off, slope up 1 to 60, 0. I want it from there to there. Okay, is it the cap that's the problem? 0, slope up. Okay, so it might have been the cap. I'm gonna move that up again. And let's go and see if we can add our P-trap. Let's try and turn it. Okay, we have turned it, and now I just want you to connect over there. Go to 3D, let's go to our top view. Okay, you, sir, need to connect to the pipe, and you, sir, need to connect to there. Okay, I'm gonna go to my ISO view, and that looks a lot better. So now, once we've done that, I'm gonna do create similar, add another one there, and add one here, and add a small one over here. Okay, so that one's not like gonna work very nice. And I'm gonna move this one. And now we're gonna go back to drainage, because now we need to do these ones. So I'm gonna go pipe, slope down. This is 42 mil. I'm gonna go on let's go with 0 for this instance. I'm gonna click there, go minus 150. I'm gonna take it out above that. No, you should not connect to that. Okay, no. no user are gonna go to minus 150. Okay, let's pull you up to there. Okay, so that's that. And now I'm going to go to drainage. And I'm going to reconnect those two. I'm just going to hide this. Hide element. So now I'm going to go pipe, inherit elevation. And I'm going to pull this through. Okay, so those two need to align. I'm going to go AL. And I am going to try and let's go detail line. I'm going to delete this one. Detail line. Take it there. You need to be sitting over there. Go systems, pipe, and then we're going to use our 42 mil again. Slope down because the flow is from here to there. Inherit elevation. From that point, we want to pull it to there. So now I can just delete that one. Okay, so this will need to be a bit lower. But we can check if there will be a connect. Okay, there's not a connection. It's gonna be popping up. Am I moving it down? Yes. I'm just gonna move this down, 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 down. Okay. Okay, no, that was not moving down. Okay, I'm just gonna redo this. Okay, I'm gonna work it back. So let's go. I'm gonna draw in a let's go north elevation. I think it's at. Fine. So there's this one. We wanted to set over here. So from that point down like 380. Okay, so let's test it. Slope up minus 380. From that point, gonna go to here. Gonna unhide this. Okay, so now we need to play around with our heights. Minus 380, slope up. I'm gonna pull it. Did it draw in now? Okay, that's not a 42 mil pipe. Okay, retry that again. 42 mil. And I'm gonna slope up. Need to draw it in there so we can ensure we have. There we go. Oh, drainage again. Now I need to pull it from. I'm just gonna delete that detail line. Pull it from here to roughly center it with my eye. I cancel. Okay, so I'm gonna go create similar. Gonna go from 0. Okay, we need to select slope down and to there. So this we want to connect. Okay, go pipe, inherit elevation. We want this one, and I'm just gonna go minus 300 and apply. Now that we have that, we can bring this one down. Delete that, delete that. That needs to. So as you can see, this can become quite tedious in doing all of this. Okay, so now we need to find that height is minus 361. Then we need to do the same for this. So I'm gonna go create select my pipe, create similar like that. Go slope up to there. Okay, so there's no route getting over there again. Just gonna draw it in over there. See if we can get a see if we delete this one. Go fitting if we have that one. Okay, let's go back. Okay, I'm at the wrong view. Yeah, I'm at the right view. You need to rotate and move up. You connect there. And we need you to connect there. And we need you to connect there. So there we have this situation going on with our stop stack. I'm going to add a cap. Just add the cap back on. And now I want it to go, let's take this one to 500 as well. So I'm going to go pipe, slope down, and we are going to go 500. I'm going to select the middle and take it to, let's go with 200. Apply, inherit the height. I'm going to pull it to there. Let's take this one over there. Okay, Tommy, you don't need to alter out stuff. We struggled with the other one as well. So let's create similar inherit elevation, and I'm just gonna go minus 350 and hit apply, just so that we have something like this. Slope is, we'll double check the, okay, so the slope is not correct, to 60. There we go. No, 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 we don't, we want 60. Okay, we'll sort that out now. There we go. Yeah, that's as close as you're gonna get with that one. I'm gonna go to my, yeah, we forgot to, on our sheet, we just need to select all of those. an item on our water reticulation plan. So once we are here, I'm just going to move that in. Move this up. Add our text again. Shower. Shower. VC. Wash and basin. Just like that. I'm going to move you up because you need to sit there. And I'm just going to extend you and add text here to main sewer line. Here we go. So I'm going to move you, delete you. Now we need to make sure 61. Oh, so now you pick it up. I'm going to change it again. No, in. There we go. And this one, drag it out, make it neat. And that is, okay, let's do a text, little stub stack with vent pipe. And there we have our isometric drainage drawing. Well done to you for completing it. And now I'm just going to take in my drainage. That's my crop view. It's going to change my none so we can hide that. It's going to go match our notes. We see wash and basin, and over here dishwasher, sink, and the same here, shower, PC, sink. There we go. And I'm just gonna add over here RE gully and here sewer. There we go. So I'm just gonna crop the front, hide that, hide this line, and there we have our drainage. We have our slopes and notes here. Now the plumber can see, okay, sink's there, there's the sink, and everything flows this way. We can add an additional note to here. Inspection eye. So we can clean this route. From this point we can clean that. From that point we can clean that. But from that point we can clean that entire row. From this one we can clean that. From that we can clean that. And from here we can clean that. We can do the same over here. add inspection eye. And add one. Okay, from there we can clean that. Okay. And there we have created our drainage. So let's now just go and clean up our water reticulation plan from and remove our drainage from that isometric view. So water reticulation, you can see we don't want to see all this. Gonna go do this little by little. Just gonna go and check if we select, press tab, select item view, elements, press tab. So we select that entire row. There we go. This is hide our fittings. See. Okay, let's just move this one back. Okay. And there we have our water reticulation. So let's just clean up this one as well on this side. Hide. 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 And hide. Side that fitting. Hey. There we go. Now we have a water reticulation plan and an isometric view of it. And now we have a isometric drainage view, which gives a clear indication of our slopes and where what is, and I have notes regarding everything. And now we have our plan, annotating everything as well. I hope this tutorial helped on drainage and water reticulation. If you have any other questions, feel free to drop it down below in the comments, and we will get to that. I'll just center these ones, center this one. There we go. Have a fantastic day, morning, afternoon, wherever you might be. See you in the next one.